What's going on, Quotation Nation? Quote by Lee coming back with a brand new Pokemon Sun and Moon trailer analysis video. This video is going to be super hyped because this trailer is 5 minutes of pure, awesome, brand new gameplay and new Pokemon. So we're just going to dive right into it with this. We'll be stopping and starting all throughout. So certain Pokemon are thriving in Alola. Check this out, boy! Look at Executor getting all giraffe-like with the grass dragon typing. We're going to pause it right there. So, Alola form. That is just crazy. I never thought that the Pokemon were going to do this. They did it in the Pokemon Break card series. So I guess they did it a while ago, changing different forms of Pokemon, giving them new typings and everything. But I did not expect this from Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's really cool. Executor gaining... kind of his silly face is a little more silly, you know. As you see, he grows into a giant palm tree. He's got another little coconut on his tail, which is really sweet. And yeah, the grass dragon type, it kind of sucks because he's 4 times weak to ice now, which isn't the best. But I hope he gets something a little better than Frisk for his ability. Now we're going to be getting into Vulpix and Ninetales. And these two are just adorable. Vulpix is one of my favorite fire types, especially from Gen 1, which is the best gen, by the way. Except I think that, you know, Pokemon Sun and Moon is probably the best of any of the newer games. Way better than Pokemon Y. I'm so much more hyped for it. But yeah, we got the Ice typing now for Vulpix and the Ice Fairy type for Ninetales with the ability Snow Cloak. So nothing too new except for the typings. Hopefully they have really sweet hidden abilities. I was thinking, so when I first watched the trailer, I didn't notice that it had the ability Snow Cloak, and I was freaking out. I was like, what if this thing still has Flash Fire? You can send this in on a fire type, get the special attack boost, and just go to town. You get a fire immunity, which it needs because Ice has like the worst typing in the game. But yeah, Ice Fairy, I think, and it just looks so majestic. I can't wait to see the shiny versions of these Pokemon. Let's keep going, and oh, we're gonna see a little bit of action. That looks like probably Ice Beam coming from the Vulpix there, and this looks like a new move from that. Now we get Sandshrew and Sandslash also with their Alola forms being Ice Steel, which is pretty okay. I mean, they look sick, don't get me wrong, they're awesome looking. But Ice Steel is kind of a bad typing. 4 times weak to fire, 4 times weak to fighting. You've got the rock weakness is now gone because of the steel typing, which isn't bad. And then you also have a ground weakness now. So you only have 5 weaknesses really, but only the ability Snow Cloak. Hopefully, again, as with Vulpix and Ninetales, hopefully they get a good hidden ability or something that's going to be able to make them viable in competitive play. But yeah, these new forms are really cool, and the coolest thing that I'm hoping for with these forms is that they give them stat increases or different base stats, because unfortunately Ninetales and Sandslash, they don't really get very much play competitively at all. I mean, sometimes you'll see a Sun team with what's the ability called that Ninetales gets? I don't know. It sets up the Sun. Drought. Gets Drought. Sets up the Sun. Sometimes you'll see that, but usually if you're running a Drought team, you're going to have Mega Charizard Y just to set up the Drought. So hopefully they'll give them some good stat boosts so that they will be used competitively, because I'd really love to use these Pokemon because they're some of the coolest Gen 1 Pokemons in the game. So we're going to get to see a little bit of their gameplay here, and look at that little igloo helmet that Sandshrew has. It's just super, super sweet. So now we get to see some different moves, which is awesome. Now there's more new Pokemon that were discovered, which is super cool. So we're going to take a look. First off, we get Hoary with 4 unique styles, which is super, super cool. So we're going to freeze that right there. So we got the Bailey style, which is fire flying. We got the Pom Pom style, which is electric flying. The Pau style, which is psychic flying, and the Sensu style, which is ghost flying. And so each of these different styles are going to be found on the different islands. So there's 4 islands, so you're going to be able to find a different one. And these guys are awesome. I don't think they're going to have the best stats right off the bat. They'll probably be fast, but not very defensive, low HP. But their ability is something crazy. Watch this. So Masquerain goes for the Quiver Dance, and then Oricorio uses its ability Dance and copies the move. It gets its own Quiver Dance out. So you can just switch this in on anything that wants to set up with a Swords Dance, Quiver Dance, and just get the stat boost. And you can run, I'm sure this thing's going to get like Quick Attack or some kind of priority. They're probably going to be physical. Most bird Pokemon I feel like are more suited towards physical attacks. So they are going to definitely benefit. I'm hoping that in doubles, let me take a look back here. It says copy everyone's dance moves. So that means in doubles, you'll be able to have one on your side, and then say you have a Mawile or a Scizor on your side as well. You set up a Swords Dance with Scizor, and then your Oricorio is going to copy Swords Dance. So you're going to get 2 Swords Dance for 1. And then you can also attack with your Oricorio. That is just broken. I think that they're definitely going to see a bit of competitive play. So now we're going to get into another new one, which is Meteor, which is like a mini Meteor. He's the rock flying type with the ability Shields Down. So Shields Down is a pretty cool ability that we will get to see right here after he gets hit. So once he gets hit, his ability activates, Shields Down, and he goes into his new form. And so he's got 4, it only showcases 4 different colors of that his forms are. I'm wondering if they're going to do a bunch of colors, if it's going to be random, or if you can catch like the Oricorio on different islands, it's a different color. We don't know yet. It doesn't show if like they get a different typing. Like right now, he was rock flying type, but when it comes off, is he going to be electric flying? Is he going to be water flying? Is he going to be psychic flying and grass flying? I don't know. They haven't really released that information yet. Hopefully, they will release it soon. We'll be able to do another update video on it. But I think it looks really cool. It kind of looks bland. It's like a meteor. But then once it comes out, it kind of like reminds you of Super Mario Galaxy and just like flying through space. And it's really cool. They needed to have a meteor Pokemon. I mean, it's Sun and Moon. Then we get to see Young Goose's grown-up self, its evolution. I doubt it's going to evolve again. I didn't think so. My last update, I knew it was going to evolve at least once. Now, the design-wise, it looks pretty good. It looks like what it should. Looks like it's a good evolution. But the name is just not Gumshoos. Gumshoos is just kind of weak compared to Young Goose. Young Goose was like a perfect name for a Mongoose type Pokemon. And then they come with Gumshoos. I mean, gum, like gums, like your teeth, I guess, because he's got the strong jaw ability. He's got his mouth out. And then shoes, like goose, kind of rhymes. But I don't know. It's not my favorite, but it's a good name for what it is. But Young Goose is kind of hard to top. But yeah, so he's got the Stakeout and the strong jaw ability. And Stakeout, as we know, we already talked about that. We're not going to go over that, so we are going to just continue. We get to see a little bit of him in action right here, using probably what looks like Hyper Fang or Super Fang. And then we get Fomantis, which is a super cute Pokemon. Look at those eyes. They're beautiful. And it evolves into Lurantis. So, this Pokemon is really, really cool because it's a praying mantis. I can't really think of any other praying mantis besides Scyther. And Scyther isn't even really, I mean, he is a praying mantis, but he's got giant swords. He's more like a flying sword death machine. But this looks more like a praying mantis. It's more like a female, I guess it's like a female Scyther. But it's really cool. It's a pure grass type, whereas Scyther is a grass flying type. And so it's got the Leaf Guard ability. Hopefully it'll have a better ability once we find out what its hidden ability is. That would be super cool. I think this is going to be more of a support type Pokemon. But we do get to see a new move here called Solar Blade, which looks pretty sweet, just taking out that nose pass. Then we get to see Mudbray. Mudbray is the pre-evolution of Mudsdale. We were pretty sure that Mudsdale wasn't going to get its own evolution into something newer because it's a giant horse that weighs over 2,000 pounds. So it's pretty obvious that it was going to be getting a pre-evolution Pokemon, and it looks perfect. I think it's a little mud donkey, and turning into Mudsdale looks perfect. So it's got the own tempo and stamina. Stamina, as we know, every time you get hit, you get a defense raise, and it looks really good. The art on it looks pretty much perfect, pretty much pristine. I can definitely see it. I already know I'm naming this thing Atreyu. If you've never seen the Never-Ending Story, then you wouldn't know that the horse's name is Atreyu, and it gets stuck in the mud and dies. Spoiler alert. But yeah, this is Mudsdale. He's a horse that is covered in mud, so yeah, Atreyu. That's the name of our Pokemon. We're definitely going to be having him on the squad when we play the game. So we get to see a little bit. I'm not sure what move Mudbray is using here. It could be... It's not Earthquake. Doesn't look like Earthquake. What's that other one? Bulldoze? It could be Bulldoze, a new animation for Bulldoze. And then we get to see a little bit more of the Alola region and different things. So we get to call on the services of ride Pokemon. Just take a look at this. It's really cool. Running around Tauros, Mudsdale. You get to ride on Mega Sharpedo, and then Charizard. And I'm hoping that this is something that a lot of Pokemon players have wanted for a long time. They don't want HMs anymore. They just want to be able to tell their Pokemon, hey, can I surf? Hey, can I break this? And I hope that's what they're doing here. If you can just have a water type Pokemon like Sharpedo and just go through the water without having to teach it surf, that would be so much better. It's like a skill instead of a move. Although, you know, I don't think they're going to get rid of HMs just because they've had them in every single game. But I'd like to see them get away from that just so that you can have an actual good move in your moveset. Because, like, most of the games you have to have Rock Smash. Rock Smash is a crappy move. Why would I want that on my Pokemon? So I hope they move away from that and they can put new abilities like that in the game. That'd be super, super cool. So now we get to learn about the Island Challenge, your rite of passage, which is cool. I'm going to read what Professor Kukui is saying. He says, you'll travel to each of the 4 islands here in the Alola region. The Island Challenge is about aiming to be the strongest trainer. The Island Challenge, tongue twister there. Island Challenge Champion, woo. So, this is really cool. So this is a scene that we've seen. So this is the first trial captain named Malo. Their specialty is the grass type. So I'm guessing this is going to be like the first gym leader. And it's not quite gyms. They're doing like this. It's not, there's no gyms. It's just watch. Welcome to Lush Jungle, the trial grounds for me, Malo. So this is like a jungle. This whole area that we've seen in that preview is like a giant gym where you have to go through this trial, and then at the end of the trial you face the trial leader. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be the first one. And then we've got Lena. Look at the vigorous splashing, which is the water specialty. I wouldn't be surprised to find fearsome Pokemon is the one causing it all. And then we've got Sophocles. I don't know how this guy's pronouncing his name. He's the electric type specialty. Fine, whatever, let's get started. Right now, right here. He looks like a little punk. He's got that Pikachu neckband. I don't know what that's all about. And then we've got Kiawe. You will find that it is a bit different than trials you have faced to this point. But of course, blah, 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 blah. Your trial's best observation, blah, blah, blah. And then, so once you beat them, there's powerful totem Pokemon away at the end of the trial. And this is something that's really, really interesting. So you're challenged by Totem Gumshoos. So it gets its totem power, and its defense rises, and its aura is flared to life. And then it also calls down an ally Pokemon. So you're pretty much doing a 1v2 battle once you defeat this trial. And so it's just really cool. And then once you clear each island's trials, you battle the Kahunas. So each island, there's 4 islands, there's going to be a trial on each island and then a Kahuna on each island. And Hala is the Kahuna of Melemele Island, which is the first island which we start on. So old Hala here will also be going all out. Let the grand trial begin. And this is something I want to show right here. I'm going to freeze it right here. So he only has 3 Pokemon, which leads me to believe that we will have to, so he's pretty much the second gym leader is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you do the trial, And the first one is going to be the grass, because they've shown that area first. And I think that that's going to be the first gym leader in that trial is going to be the grass girl. And then once you beat her trial, then you have the chance to take on Hala here, which is the kahuna of Melemele Island. And since he only has 3 Pokemon, that makes me think that he's going to be the second person, because usually the higher up, they're going to have more Pokemon and stronger Pokemon. That's what I think, unless they're going to have you go to each of the islands and then go back to each of the islands and face the kahunas. I don't know if that's how it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to be like you fight the trial, then you go on, then you can fight the kahuna on that island. That's my theory at least. And then we get to see the new way to attack. So before we go into this, I want to mention a lot of different YouTubers have mentioned that they think that Mega Evolution is going to be taken out of the game. And I think that that is 95% positive. I think that they are going to be replacing Mega Evolution with this new way to attack. And we'll just watch a little bit here and I'll explain why I think that. So we see him do his little dance move. Pikachu surrounds itself with its aura. Pikachu uses its new move, Gigavolt Havoc, which is awesome. Look at this sweet electric spear type move. Just taking out this Sandshrew with the Alola. And this looks like, because it's set at level 50, I'm guessing that they went into a Wi-Fi battle to do this, unless you can find level 50 Sandshrews in the wild, which I don't think so. So this is probably on a Wi-Fi battle that they're doing this. And so I want to go back just a little bit. Just a little bit. So it says unleash a Z move once per battle. So this is why I think they're going to be taking out Mega Evolution. So everybody knows that once you can have as many Megas on your team, but you can only Mega Evolve one Pokemon and once per battle. So I think that you can have multiple Pokemon that are going to be able to use a Z-type move, and it's going to be an extremely powerful move that you can use throughout battle. And since you can only use it once, I think it's going to even the playing field a little more, because there was a lot of Mega Pokemon that were cool that people wanted to use, but they weren't competitive enough to be able to use, and so people just use the strong ones, which kind of throws off the meta of the game. And I think with this, it's going to make the competitive scene a little more tighter, and it's going to be just easier for people to, I don't know about easier, I think it's going to have more strategy in the competitive scene, because Mega Evolution, pretty much all you do is have a Mega Kangaskhan and you pretty much win. And that's it. And right now the meta, especially for VGC, is to just have the primal Pokemon and a Mega, and it's just not fun. So I think with these new moves, they're going to be getting rid of the Mega, because I feel like they would have already announced if there was going to be Mega Evolution in this generation. We've been getting trailers and announcements for a couple months now, and nothing on Megas. But now we're getting to see this new move that you can only use once per battle. Pretty sure that clarifies that there's not going to be any Mega Evolution in this generation. So we're going to keep going throughout this video. Check out the Gigavolt once again. But I'd actually really like, I mean, it kind of sucks getting rid of an entire, it's like getting rid of an entire generation, right? Mega Evolution was fun, but I feel like it was kind of a flop. And it's just not as competitive as I would like it. And so now here we get to see a Z move for every type. Now in the video it only showcases the electric, it shows the grass, the fire, and the water for each of the starters. But this has a Z move for every single type, so I think every single Pokemon will be getting a Z type move. Now it might be, or at least every typing is going to have, I don't know if every single Pokemon will be able to use Z-type moves. If they can, that would be cool, because I think then it would make it so, like, say you have a dark type on your team, you have a water type, you have a fire type, grass, blah blah blah, right? And your opponent doesn't know which Z-type move you're going to use. You can send in your guy, and then, like, if you really need to get a kill for competitive reasons, any one of your mons could be the one that's going to use the Z-type move. So I think it would be cool if every single Pokemon could use it, but I think only a select few are going to use it. They mentioned a long time ago, it's been a couple months, that there was Rockruff, Popplio, Rowlet, and Litten had secrets to hold. I'm pretty sure that secret is that they have the ability to use the Z moves. Now, I'm guessing there's going to be a lot more Pokemon revealed later, that we're going to get to see that also have Z moves, or maybe they're not going to reveal it at all. We're going to have to wait until November 18th when the game comes out. But those are my thoughts on the trailer. If you liked it, then go ahead and leave this video with a like. I think this game is so hyped up. I'm extremely excited, especially for competitive play and just for the story. I'm going to be getting both games. Can't wait to play them. I'll be playing one on the channel, and then I'm going to have one for my personal use to play as well. Yeah, if you have any suggestions on videos, your thoughts, your comments, go ahead and leave them below in the description below. And as always, guys, if you're not hydrating, you're dehydrating. Quote by Lee.